felt rises to center stage 1, feeling the vehicle sway on my ass. I scowled at the damn redhead who sat in front of me. "Do not keep looking that discouraged forever," Reinhard said. As always, he had the usual unpleasant smile, from someone who doesn't believe that malice existed in the world, which came to seem like he was provoking me, playing in my face that I am a loser. "You recognized my victory, remember? Are you happy to have beaten me on a bet?" I practically threw myself on the seat, and with my arms crossed because I knew that Reinhard didn't like it when I didn't behave like a lady. Only the bastard continued to look sleepy without caring, as if I were just like a tantrum child. "Sucker!" Oops. That was me trying to put the sole of my shoe in Reinhard's white pants. But the guy wasn't even caught off guard and managed to move his leg off to avoid my foot. So I tried a second time, then he kicked his foot on mine to get him out of the way. If I looked uncomfortable, he went on with a teasing smile. "Take it, take it, take it, take it, take it." "Oh, ops, no, Each take it was a kick, but they were all defended. So I thought there was no point in just trying to face it, and that I would need a more elaborate plan, so... "Gentlemen, please." But before I put my plan into practice, the grandma who saw us from the front seat told us to stop. She looked at me and Reinhard and said, "Don't make a mess in here, behave yourself, both behave." Her voice was not that of someone who was angry, it was more of someone who made a dear request. So I lowered my foot and Reinhard also shrugged. It seems that he hinted that it was my fault, and I got more angry. "Take it." "Oh." Too bad that not even that last kick hit, so I had to settle for stamping my feet on the floor. 2, the vehicle we used to call dragon carriage, is nothing more than a carriage that has earth dragons in place of horses. I don't even need to say that it is something that has nothing to do with me. And that was the first time I traveled on it inside the passenger wagon, without being hidden among merchants' goods. In fact, unlike the merchants' drakes, this one was all chic. And so, after all, where are we going? Isn't it time for you to tell me? I threw the question to Reinhard without being able to stand the silence. The guy then opened his blue eyes, looked me in the face, and said, "Well, what if I say it's a surprise? Do you want to be hit? No matter how good you are at dodging, if I decide I'm going to hit you, I'll hit you. Better not even think about sleeping until then. There is no need to threaten me, as we are already arriving. As Grandpa and his earth dragon are calm, we ended up taking a little longer trip." Reinhard's answer was about the grandpa who drove the vehicle, but I didn't ask him why we were late, and he didn't even explain what I wanted to know. To start with, all of this was just happening because I was muggled to fall for the bastard's trick. But in my defense, I was starting to get a little anxious about not being able to get away from that house, and that made me nervous. The bid went something like this. "Miss Felt, what about making a bet with me? We will throw a coin, and if you hit the side that falls, you will be free to leave." "Are you serious? I'm in, but I'm going to throw the coin." And I lost. Worse than I was the one who threw the coin, and I was the one who chose which side was going to fall, so Reinhard couldn't have cheated. That, without even checking what he would want from me first if he won. You know, I never really thought about it until that moment, but things that happened to me made me think that maybe I was a little dumb. This gambling story was another example. "Miss Felt, our destiny is in sight," informed Grandma. Since I was kidnapped by Reinhard, I found myself reflecting on my actions more often, but being interrupted by Grandma's voice, I looked out the window. It was a landscape of the capital that seems familiar, except that I had never seen it myself. After all, it was the Noble District, the area of the city that has less to do with me. I showed my tongue to the tasteless mansions lined up with them, and the only thing that mattered was showing who had the most money. Then I looked in the direction we were going, and I regretted it. I really hoped that that way ahead, at the end of that straight street, and that there was no way out, was not our destination. This is where we are going, the center of the kingdom, the castle of Lugunica. Unfortunately, this is what Reinhard told me, as if he had read my thoughts. Facing his profile, I realized that my shoulders were shaking a little. "There is no use turning the face that I know you're laughing, you bastards." 3, it didn't matter how much I cried or kicked, those people didn't have a drop of mercy. Apparently, they wanted to squeeze me like a floor cloth. "Ouch, ouch, 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 it hurts. I already said it hurts." Please hold on just a little bit longer. This is necessary for any lady. I don't remember becoming a lady, and I don't even plan to be. But I wanted to shout it, but I saw that it wasn't going to happen. Around me, there were 6 girls trying to tighten my body with a thing they called a corset. It looked like they were companions of the castle, and in the corner of the room was Grandma with a smile watching over me. If not even Grandma, I could win. I had no chance being in enemy territory. So I just let it be brought up to that room, and I was since being treated like a toy by the 6 girls, who put on and took off a lot of dresses on me. The instant I entered the castle, I lost any chance of escaping the dragon carriage, and I was locked in this room. Reinhard left saying that he had something to do, but at least I didn't need to change in front of him. In the end, the chosen outfit was a yellow dress, similar to the one I had to wear at Reinhard's house, but I could feel it by the fabric texture that was of a better quality. This is suffocating me, and the fabric bothers me. What does that bastard want from me, huh? If you intend to complain to the young master, let it be only after being properly presentable. Rest assured, that dress looked great on you, said Grandma. Damn it if it was good. What anger to have to do everything the way that bastard wants. Anyway, for the peace of mind of the chaperones, I stopped struggling and let them squeeze me. Even after the corset, there was still a lot of place in the dress that I needed to adjust, and my suffering continued. I swore I would fly kick Reinhard later, and it was at such an hour that the door was suddenly opened and a hoarse voice invaded the room. Sense, is Sword Saint here? As the girls had not finished dressing yet, they were petrified without knowing what to do. I just looked at the guy who came in and did a quick analysis. He was a not very old uncle with a slightly flushed face and a badly shaved beard. He staggered a little bit as if he were the drunks in the slum, and it would be perfect if he had a belly out with a bottle of drink in his hand. But that was not the case. Surprisingly, he wore the crumpled Royal Knight's uniform and carried a sword at his waist. Incredible as it seemed, he was a knight. Then the uncle searched the room with his eyes and let out a bad smell of alcohol. What? They told me that the Astrias would be here. Hey, how dare you enter the room where a lady is dressing? Whoever shouted at the man, scratching his head, was Grandma. I could see on her face that she was angrier than when I licked her plate, only her exaggeration seemed a little strange. The answer came with the man's reaction to her. Ah, is it you, Grandma? I thought it was an old vase that scared me. Frankly, unbelievable that you prefer to offend me before apologizing for entering without knocking. If I no longer have the minimum dignity as a knight, how about leaving the sword on your waist hanging on the wall? Sharp as always, but I'll tell you, Grandma, I think you are the one who should be careful how you address me, huh? Master Heinkel. I could hear Grandma say the guy's name very quietly, which made him smile a little disgusting. And my patience was almost at the limit. Hey, Uncle, you're too loose for those who were invading the place where a girl is changing. Which is, didn't you realize it's already time for you to apologize to me? Ha! With that, the man looked at me for the first time, and when his blue eyes reflected me, he put a hand on his forehead and said, Ah, right, it was bad there, young lady. I didn't think I was going to disturb a child by changing, nor did I care about you. Do you want me to leave an unforgettable impression on your face? Seeing that uncle tease me, I already lift the skirt of my dress and get ready to give him a nice kick. Only before the shock happened. Vice Captain Heinkel, you must know the reason for the meeting from that. Can't you really deduce who this lady might be? Grandma entered our midst. I didn't understand anything about what she said, and apparently neither the guy. It was bad, but I don't know anything. No, for a change, I'll have to be locked up quietly in my room. Marcos didn't tell me anything. The royal selection. When Uncle heard Grandma's whisper, his expression changed instantly. If before he seemed to be making fun of the whole world, now he was looking at me with a serious face from head to tiptoe. So, ha, 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 he laughed. Understand. Now I understand, then that's it. You mean that kid chose a child of that size as a sacrifice this time? What a joke, huh? It can only be a joke. How not to laugh at that? He had kicked one of the bookshelves and spread a lot of stuff on the floor as he burst out laughing. While the girls were intimidated by this, I took a step forward and got closer to him. I didn't understand anything about their conversation, but I'm sure the guy was making a fool of me. And of all things, What I hate the most is that they make a fool of me. He's laughing now looking up, and since he's drunk, it's just me giving a good kick that he will fall to the floor. Easy. Hold the emotion there, young lady. I'm drunk, but you won't be able to touch a finger on me. The problem was that even before I gave the kick, the guy came out of nowhere in front of me releasing the breath of alcohol, making me take a few steps back. In a little while, you will also understand that you and we are in the same situation. At that time, if you want, I can comfort you. Saying that, the uncle just laughed and left the room without fixing anything. When the door closed, Grandma came to my side and wiped my face with a tissue. Is everything okay, Miss Felt? I'm sorry. If I had managed to react in time, you wouldn't have had to go through this discomfort. Relax, I was just annoyed, but he didn't do anything. Do you know that uncle, Grandma? Yes. He has an intrinsic relationship not only with me, but with my husband and the young master, so I apologize sincerely. Grandma showed a pained face that made me feel sorry for her. In the same way, the other girls were also all upset, and the atmosphere in the room was very heavy in a very unpleasant way. Well, I almost didn't understand what that guy came to do, but it's over. Forget it. But, miss, we better pack up the things on the shelf he kicked and finish dressing me, right? I don't think you're going to like me walking like that. I held out my arms to the ladies waiting to show that there were still things to do, like closing a bunch of buttons and covering the corset. I didn't need to be an expert to know that I wasn't ready yet. At first, the girls were a little confused, but soon 4 of them came to dress me, and the other 2 started to arrange things sprawled on the floor. Alag, what a pain, Grandma. Why are you making that face? As I suffered from the tightness of the dress, I noticed that she was looking at me with her eyes wide open, as if she was frightened by something. Nothing, miss. I was just thinking that, like always, the young master got it right again. TSC, how about we don't talk about him? I don't want to remember that annoying face. Against my will, I ended up remembering the face of that bastard, and at the same time I realized something. The drunk uncle who came to make a mess in the room also had bright red hair, the same tone as Reinhard. Yeah, or at least now I know people with red hair suck. As I came to the conclusion of the day, next to me, Grandma looked at me with a satisfied face and someone who knew everything. She stayed like that until a knight appeared in the room and took me outside.